I say, what's going on, family? Welcome back to the EOE Network. I'm your boy T4. If this is your first time here, hit that like and subscribe. If you're coming back, welcome back. Hey, it is day two of our vlog series of Never Finish by David Goggins. And as you can tell, we're in a Christmas spirit. Chapter 2, Merry Mf'Ing Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Christmas. Merry Mf'Ing Christmas. It is a great one. I'm on my second listen of this book. First time we just listened to get the story. Second time we listen to hear the story and to study the story. That's my mindset on all Audible books. So always got to run it back 2 or 3 times. And man, this is a great one today. So for Christmas time of the year, it's a happy time for most people, or it could be a sad time for most people. But today's message is strictly simple. It's about the perspective of life. All right. So going back to the book of Can't Hurt Me, let's give you a back trace. If you haven't read the book or listened to the book Can't Hurt Me, you might want to get caught up and go back and listen to that book and or read that book. For those of you who are Goggins fans, Gogginettes, that's my word, Gogginettes, you know that he had this mentor, best friend, soon to be father figure that his mother was about to marry, but he was killed. He never said when, but in the book he goes in further in detail and he says the man was killed, Wimouth was killed the day after Christmas. So Christmas time for him has always been a time associated with sorrow and sadness. So Christmas has not always been the best time of the year. Now this book gets deep because he mentioned his brother in Can't Hurt Me, you know, about his niece dying, then finally reconnecting with his brother. But now he gets into the nits and grits. He went back to visit his brother with his mom, you know, after his father had died. They went back to visit the brother, and the brother wanted to take a trip up to Buffalo, New York. Now, you remember yesterday I told you how Goggins feel about Buffalo, New York, because that's where they was getting abused at, getting beat at, and X, Y, and Z. Now, here's where perspective changes at. As Shannon Sharp always says, 2 things can be true. It's just depending. 2 people can live in the same house, but have 2 different perspectives about what happened. Me personally, I can contest to that. I have siblings. We have different perspectives on how the way we was raised and the outcome of everything. The same thing with Goggins and his brother. He breaks it down into detail about his brother and him. His brother always went into the room while his mom was getting beat and mom and dad was fighting, so he didn't have to physically see it. He may have heard them yelling and arguing, all the other commotion, while Goggins, on the other hand, sat there on the steps, watching all the hits and the licks and everything else. So it brings us to where we're at right now, where it's him and his brother. They're back together with their mom. The brother wants to go back up to Buffalo, New York, and take the kids because he loved it there. So for his brother, Buffalo, New York represents heaven. It's like the best place in the world, full of great memories. For Goggins, on the other hand, it's hell. It's a lot of turmoil, a lot of pain associated with going back to Buffalo. And he understands it may be the same for his mom, but mom got to play both sides. Like, well, it really wasn't that bad. Well, David, it wasn't always what you make it out to be. So 2 things can be true, depending on where you're sitting at. So you've probably seen this great illustration here, where you have one person looking at a 6, another person see a 9, and they're arguing about it. It just depends on where you're sitting when these things happen. So for Goggins, he was in hell. For his brother, it was in heaven. Now, all this is taking place around the Christmas holiday season. So for David, that's why he titled this chapter, Merry Mf'Ing Christmas, because it always has been attached with sorrow. Now, fast forward, 2018, December 4th, the book Can't Hurt Me dropped. Mentioned it yesterday. It dropped. 3 weeks later, about 22 days later, it's about December 26th. He is with his girlfriend, fiance at the time, or they're currently still together, and she's going over the numbers for the book sales and find out that, hey, you made New York Times bestseller as a self-published author. Man, this chapter gets so deep. So he's not really big into the numbers. He's like, all right, cool. They on their way to Florida to get ready to go kick it with her family. He popped some vitamins. His heart go back into AFib. You remember in the book, he had already had 2 heart surgeries because his heart went into AFib. Now, after just finding out you're a New York Times bestseller, your heart goes into AFib the day after Christmas. So you're back in the hospital again, and you're wondering like, hey, is this it for me? Am I about to die? Is this it? Has my body finally caught up to me? I'm going to let that stay right there and let y'all get into the book. But you can see how a time of the year is associated with happiness and sorrow. A lot of us, Christmas didn't mean a lot. It was just, hey, it was another time of the year. You look to your left, friends getting gifts, you not getting gifts, but you move forward from that. So that was the thing with Goggins right now is, hey, I'm at the highest of my life right now. I made New York Times bestseller. Pause right there. He made New York Times bestseller after his agent had dropped him, his other publisher had dropped him and said, hey, don't publish this book because no one's going to buy it. So they all was like, boom, we're done with you. And he had to find a way to publish this book on his own. So if you ever had to be in the nitty gritty of the grind where you have people going against you, counting you out, telling you what you can or cannot do, you got to have a different perspective for your own life and say what you can do. I understand, guys. I keep a black book. Keep a black book at all times. Family and friends know. I tell people in a heartbeat, I'm putting you in the black book. This is my book of life where people have doubted you or did you wrong. You bring out your high-speed pen, and you put their name in the book, and you jot down little notes about what they did that offended you or how it made you feel and how you're going to prove them wrong. Same thing with Goggins. Goggins had to go out and set out and prove them wrong to the point where people start calling him and apologizing and saying, hey, man, you was right. I just didn't see the vision of your story, but you did. Congratulations. I got to eat my words. And that's sometimes what you got to do in life. Sometimes you just got to prove people wrong with your own outlook and mindset of your own life and your own perspective about what you can accomplish for yourself. So this chapter is Merry Effing Christmas because it's not always a happy-go-lucky time for him, even though there's good things going on in his life. But these things, this part of his life was where he got to go back and face demons and realize where he's came from and where he has already and where he's going in life. But he still have those little hiccups, those inner demons that he's fighting with himself. Now, we all have inner demons that we're fighting with ourselves, but he has just put it in a way where he put it out for the world to help him get through it. He wrote it down and gave it to us in another book. And I can truly appreciate that because some of us live in a household or we was raised in a household where people see things differently than you. Siblings see things as happy-go-luckies, all sunshines and rainbows. You see things as very dark, cloudy, and rainy. But it's okay. Two things can be true. We're not here to tell you how to feel or change your perspective on your life or your outlook on it. But this chapter is full of ups, downs, and emotional roller coasters because it's like you're cheering for the guy, but then you hear the setback of another heart surgery that's potentially about to take place. So I'm going to let that stay right there. But y'all let me know in the comments. Have you guys ever had a different perspective? If you have siblings or with your mother, your father, or whoever, like the perspective different. They may look at things as being all sunshines and rainbows, and you may look at things as being all dark, cloudy, gloomy, stormy. You just got two different perspectives, but they both can be true. Leave it in the comments. And as always, stay tuned for day 3 tomorrow. And always continue to be good, continue to be great. I'm your boy T Ford. If you find value in this video, like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments. Y'all have a great day.